Hi, I'm Elise and welcome to Which Way. Today's Witch Lore review is, finally, Practical Magic. Released in 1998 and directed by Griffin Dunne, Practical Magic stars Sandra Bullock as Sally Owens, Nicole Kidman as Gillian Owens, Stockard Channing as Frances Owens, Diane Wiest as Bridget Owens, Goran Visnjic as Jimmy Angelov, and Aidan Quinn as Gary Hallett. This is the story of the cursed Owens witches. The curse took Sally and Gillian Owens' parents, so they end up living with their aunts Franny and Jet, who use their magic to meddle in people's love lives, including Sally's. Gillian grows to love freely, but Sally needed a little push, but she is crushed after losing this love to the curse, and moves back into her aunt's house, now with two daughters of her own. Gillian, meanwhile, is stuck in a toxic relationship with one Jimmy Angelov and asks Sally for help, but things go very wrong and the boyfriend ends up dead, after which a detective arrives to start asking questions, but the answers he is getting are too wild to be true. But have we seen the last of Jimmy Angelov? This film is based off of the book of the same name by Alice Hoffman, but to be honest, and this is probably the only time I've ever said this, I liked the movie better. Two more books were released as prequels to the first novel, The Rules of Magic, following the young aunts and their brother, and I feel like this book gave off even more Practical Magic movie vibes. And finally, Magic Lessons, which tells the story of the original Owens witch. Of course, the beautiful Owens home is based in Massachusetts, whose history itself is rife with witch trials. John Hathorne, one of the judges responsible for the many deaths during the Salem witch trials, is the original cursed man. Maria Owens was betrayed by him, so she laid down a curse on any man to love an Owens witch. Before these men meet their untimely fate, omens start to present themselves. Specifically in the movie, we hear the clicking of the Death Watch beetle. In folklore, these were seen to be ill omens and would represent an oncoming death. Beetles referred to as the Death Watch beetle are the Atropos divinatora and Clothilla pulsatoria. Atropo and Clotho were two of the three fates in Greek mythology known as the Moirai and were seen to be the spinners of fate. An additional omen was thrown in for one of these ill-fated men in the film, a black dog, often associated as a harbinger of death or sometimes thought to be acting as familiars to witches, a creature who helped a witch with her deeds. Other creatures thought to be witches' familiars that we see in the film are of course black cats and toads. Thought also in folklore to represent an enemy nearby, or because the life cycle of the toad was not widely known, they were thought to appear fully grown, so were seen as supernatural creatures or manifestations of the devil.
I got people telling me that you're up here cooking up placenta bars, that you're into devil worship.
No, there's no devil in the craft.
The Owens witches seem to think the former, as in the book Magic Lessons, it's revealed that the Owens grimoire is bound in toad skin.
Get the bird. Get the book.
This spellbook is just gorgeous, but unfortunately you only get to see a few pages in the film, though from what we can see they appear to be mostly original works consisting of Latin phrases and absolutely beautiful diagrams. I found a blog of someone who claims to have owned the prop book from Practical Magic, and in some of these images we can see the book also contained illustrations from Walter Crane's Flora's Feast, as well as alchemical illuminations. Though most of the images shown on this blog show that only one side of the book is illustrated, and in the film we see both sides have images on them, so hopefully they didn't get ripped off. I'll include the blog post so you can see these pictures for yourself. One spell that we see the sisters use in the film from the book is a necromancy spell in which they call on the goddess Hecate.
Black as night, erase death from our sight. White as light, mighty Hecate, make it right.
Hecate has now been associated with witches, though she wasn't always, and the Owens witches seem to practice various forms of folk magic and are highly superstitious. They can read palms and take cues from the natural world to foresee what is to come.
Room fell. Company's coming.
But also, as this is a film, they seem to have abilities such as telekinesis and pyrokinesis, as well as the ability to levitate, which we see in the iconic Halloween scene at the end of the film. But since these are only sprinkled throughout the film, it doesn't take away the magic of this whole film. We often see the Owens witches in the garden, and Sally uses her herbal knowledge to make salves and lotions, which she sells in her store named Verbena. In the language of flowers, this flower stands for enchantment and sensibility, which perfectly describes Sally. The actress who portrays one of the shop assistants in this store later makes an appearance as a witch herself in the film Beautiful Creatures as Aunt Dell. Also, the actor who portrays the detective also can't seem to stay away from witchy women, as he also appears in The Last Keepers with a witch as his wife. And of course, Nicole Kidman has had another witchy role, appearing as the main character in the 2005 reimagining of Bewitched. But back to this film. Practical Magic scores for lore, history, and the craft. I absolutely love this film. It covers so many genres, but still manages to have so many iconic scenes. It makes me want to eat chocolate brownies for breakfast and drink margaritas at midnight. And if you want to know what happens next with the Owens witches, check out the just released sequel to Practical Magic, The Book of Magic by Alice Hoffman. Let me know what you thought of this film and the books in the comments below, as well as any other witchy film or series recommendations, or even some book recommendations. Like and subscribe for more witch lore reviews, and remember, there's a little witch in all of us. Thank you very much for watching here on Witch Way.